What's good, everybody? Welcome. I am Lonnie Appleton, and I am reading the Bible this year, and however long it takes me to read it, just chapter by chapter, spending an hour a day in communion with those who are excited to, get to know God's Word, because God told me the only way that I am going to be able to call God out on their word is if I familiarize myself with the word. So, in order to get all that is promised to me in this lifetime, I must seek out all that is promised to me and become aware of it. So that's what we're going to do here. Read last night. Interestingly enough, I ended up on the rabbit hole of toxic narcissistic mothers, just watching a bunch of videos, and I don't know, I understand that I'm being led through life. A young lady said that to me, and it's really resonated with me and stuck with me. Welcome to the live, everybody. It resonated and stuck with me that, I'm being led. So each previous day leads to the next day, and the things that you encounter in the previous day are helping frame the next day or the next, X amount of day. Now, I don't know what I'm being exposed to today, how far out that is, something that's pointing out something to me. But every day I realize, there's something that became a part of my, field of awareness that is assisting me navigate the present day. So I've been very intentional in living, very intentional in paying attention about what's happening around me and truly not taking life for granted. Because when they say don't take life for granted, what they mean is our spirit team, our soul guides, higher selves, consciousness, ancestors, universe, God, Jesus, whoever, Muhammad, whoever, they are constantly communicating and sending us signals to help us navigate this life. We've never been alone, and we're never going to be alone. So that is what's been coming to me. And so just really being intentional with living purposefully, as well as being present. So right now, being present, not only present in the fact that I'm sitting here recording this video and like, yay, I'm here recording this video, being present, but being present in the sounds that I'm hearing, the things that are happening in the time that it's happening. There's a lot of fluid pieces in the intentionality of living. So, yep, sis just woke up, so the bags are still there. Yes. I take a mid-morning nap. Why not? I take my mid-morning nap so that... Hold on. Oh, okay. I take my mid-morning nap because that's when, if I'm never completely exhausted when I go to sleep, then I have more of a probability to lucid dream. And I like lucid dreaming because I like receiving messages in my sleep. Yesterday, I wasn't asleep. I was, eyes were closed, but visualizing, manifesting. And in this reading the Bible, I was saying, I can't wait until I can say, Matthew says, and I quoted a verse in my head. Matthew 3:27, I don't know. But I was like, okay, before you lose that Bible verse, actually go look it up and see what it says. And it's talking about forgiveness. And what it pretty much said is God cannot forgive your trespasses until you forgive others' trespasses. You are yourself, you are God. So if you expect God to forgive you, you must first forgive, because you are in God's image. Therefore, you are moving as God moves, but God is also moving as you move. Your God and your God consciousness is as alive and as fluid and as capable as you are capable, right? Your relationship with God is not limited to what man has told you what your relationship with God is. Your relationship with God is as expansive as you believe it to be. So if you are incapable of forgiveness, then your God is incapable of forgiveness. So when I read that verse where it said, if you are unable to forgive those who trespass against you, God is unable to forgive your trespasses. All that means is God is only as capable as you are. So if you feel God is not showing up for you, chances are, if you truly sit down and analyze your life, are you showing up for you, or are you just existing? Because every effort you make, and this is an energy exchange, every effort you make is matched with equal effort. That is just what energy is. There always has to be energy in a space. Nothing can be void of energy. So if you are making an effort, universe, God, whatever, is stepping in and making an equal effort. So if you feel that you are out here and you are being left out here, are you actually making effort? It's for you to discern. I know I'm showing up. I'm 11 minutes late, but I'm here. So let's go. Today we're going to read Cain and Abel, chapter 4, Genesis, chapter 4, the story of Cain and Abel. I mentioned at the beginning of the live that I went down the toxic, narcissistic mother rabbit hole last night. Was watching a bunch of video clips. And I've known that I'm a recovering, I won't say former, but I've known that I'm a recovering narcissist. I know that I'm a recovering toxic mother. And really coming into a space of loving my children to a way, into a place where they do not become toxic and narcissistic. Because definitely my oldest, she was well on her way to replicating me, and the me that she was replicating wasn't the best version of myself. So I believe that God sent me down that rabbit hole yesterday, not only to just see what's out there, my God, these relationships are just crazy, but also to see I can't sit here and judge this without knowing that this is a reflection back to me. Everything that we're exposed to is reflecting something back to us. It's not for us to look at the complete extreme and the totality of the picture and be like, okay, well, that's not me. There's nothing for me here. We have to understand, if anything is brought before us, this message, if anything is brought before us, there is something there for us, or spirit would not have brought us here. There are no coincidences. Nothing happens on accident. If anything catches your attention, it is for a reason. Spirit does not have a voice. Spirit does not have a mouth. Spirit can only communicate through your environment. So if anything catches your attention, squirrel, it was for a reason. So pay attention. Cain and Abel. Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, with the help of the Lord I have brought forth a man. Later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. Cain was older. Cain is the oldest brother. I always have to remember. And I remember Cain worked the soil because sugar cane. So Cain worked the soil and was older. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering for the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. So to me, and it says they came before the Lord. Now, I don't have the reference things. God told me to read the Bible on live for those who have always aspired to read the Bible. They could come here daily at noon-ish. I'm here, and we'll read the Bible together. I'm only on chapter 4, so get your Bible. Let's read together. But God also told me to really start just decoding this for ourselves. So of course I'm going to show or express, I don't know what happened to me in my sleep, but dang, these bags are serious today. My eyes were probably swollen. Anyway, start decoding the Bible for myself and really just breaking down what's happening here, because a lot of our families are being ran in accordance to what's happening here, known or unknown. So it's saying that Cain and Abel came before the Lord, not their father, came before the Lord, which is the ultimate creator. And they presented what they had. Cain did not have fat from animals because Cain only had crops. But Cain brought the best of his crops before the Lord. I don't think it said that he brought, let's see. Cain. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruit of the soil as an offering to the Lord, fat portions from some of his firstborn. Okay, so it says that Cain brought some of the fruit of the soil of his offering. So he brought something, but it didn't identify the quality of what he brought. I think that might be important. But then it says Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. And you know how they talk about first fruits, giving the first. When you give of what you have the first of, because the first of something is the most value. Your first million means way more than your 10th million, your 20th million. Of course, those of us out here who don't have millions, we're like, I'm valuing every million. But let's think about our first dollar. Our first dollar we earn, some of us have our first dollar in a frame. Our first $10 in a frame. Some of us have a story behind the first dollar we made with our business. But who's telling the story about the thousands dollar that you made with your business? It loses its value. So the fact that it mentioned Abel brought some fat offerings from the firstborn is letting us know that what Abel brought God was something of value. Now, all we know of Cain, per this, is that Cain just brought some fruits from his crop. I don't know if it was the best. I don't know if it was spotted. I don't know. I'm just going off of this. And so maybe that's why God looked favorably upon Abel, because God felt that what Abel was giving was something of value versus Cain just bringing something before the Lord. I don't know. But if we could just say they both brought offerings from what they had available to themselves, I just find it problematic that God looked favorable, cast favoritism towards one of the sons and did not, and in that showing of favoritism, automatically made the other brother feel resentful and resentment. We have to pay attention as creators of ourselves and the things that we are choosing to create in our lives, whether it's life, whether it's friendships, whether it's relationships, whether it's our career, whatever it is. We have to make sure that we are maintaining a balance. Remember energy. Remember we are maintaining an energetic balance. And Spirit is telling me you don't want to show favor unnecessarily. But so the example that's coming to mind is one of your children does something that pleases you and you're like, great job, how does that make you feel? You showed up for yourself, because you always want to reinforce what your child did. You don't want to stop at great job, but you really want to say, how did that make you feel? You make sure that you're doing things to recapture that feeling every time. Always show up for yourself so you can recapture this feeling, because you're really teaching your child, not good job, so you're doing things so that you can get praise. You're teaching your child you're praising your child not to receive praise, but you're teaching your child how to manifest and how to create an energy. So that's what you're doing when you praise your child, as you praise your child. Now, what Spirit is saying, the imbalance and the improper way to do that is you got a child that's just standing there like kicking their foot on the floor, and you're like, you praise them too, because you praise this one, you want to praise the other one. They didn't do anything that is worthy of praise. But when that other child does do something that's worthy of praise, and because that person is always, or that child isn't doing anything that's, and they're on your list. We all know we got kids that are on our lists, on the unhealthy side. Cain clearly was on God's list. You know, you have to make sure you praise them with the same intensity that you praise the other child. that's how you do not show favoritism. So you don't just jump in and thank you for the love, thank you guys for being here. You don't just praise to praise, but you praise that which is worthy of praise, and you lift up, and you do it equally amongst everyone and everything in your life, because you want to give life to everything in your life, because you want everything in your life to give you life. And if you are not feeding, you cannot be fed. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Now there just seems like there's more to this story, because how did Cain sin? If Cain brought offering of that which he had, he must not have brought the best. He must not have brought the best, because I don't see how he sins. That's the one thing that and this is a translation of a translation of a translation of a translation. I get it. But I just feel like there's some things that are left out of here that would be important. Like, okay, yes, there are tools that I can bring into this study to help me understand and da-da-da-da-da. But how many people are really sitting down with 6 books in order to understand what is included or omitted from this book? Most people are picking up this book and reading this book for what this book has to say. So for people to be like, oh, well, the translation of yada, yada, yada says, or, you got to get this book to accompany this book and all these different things. Well, you're already one, telling people how to think, i.e., what you're interpreting based off of what you're reading is incorrect, because in these other books it says this. Well, no, I need to interpret based off of what's in here. So even what's in here, if there's more to this, and I know that there is, because yesterday we were talking about Adam and Eve, and one of our community members, let me know that Adam actually has no name, and Adam is translated into the man, and so Adam really doesn't have a name. That's information that is somewhere else. But if you want people to pick this book up and read this book needs to be inclusive enough for people to get the full scope of the picture. And I just feel a lot is missing from this. How did Cain sin? Did Cain not bring the first fruit? Have you read the book of Adam and Eve? I read, not the actual book. There's an actual book called Adam and Eve. I'll have to pick it up. I just read the chapter on Adam and Eve. Spirit told me to pick up the Bible and read it online for those people who are interested in, wanting to hear what the Bible says. And, I'm just asking questions, letting people know it's okay to ask questions. Of course. All right, I'll have to check it out. But how are you, my friend? All right, now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out into the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," he replied. "Am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord said, "What have you done?" "Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." So when the Lord received Abel's offering and not Cain's offering, and then went along and scolded Cain, and again, this is based off of this. Thank you. Continue doing so. This is based off of this. And I'm making a parallel to how we raise our children. Okay? I am not reading this for biblical accuracy, i.e., I need 12 books in order to fully understand this book. I am basing this is what most people read and say, I'm raising my family in accordance to this book, not the 12 books that people say I need to have in order to understand this book. I am raising my family based off of this book. And what I just saw the Lord do was show favoritism and then scolding the oldest child, showing favor to the youngest child. Do you see how we replicate this in our homes? We show favor to the youngest child for whatever reason. We're always on the head of the oldest child and putting extreme pressure and causing a rift between the two children. And so in some cases, the extreme case, Cain killed Abel. But what's happening in our families where our oldest child has a bias against the youngest child? And did we do potentially anything to cause that rift simply because we are replicating a pattern that has been in place since the dawn of time? Abel offering was the best of what he can. Cain offered what he was. Okay, that's what I was saying, because when I reread the scripture, it said that Cain just brought fruit, but when it said Abel brought the firstborn, the fatty portions. So it just said Cain brought fruit, but it said Abel brought the fatty portions of the firstborn. So that's what I was saying. I was like, I think that has to be the discrepancy, that Abel brought the first fruit, so to speak, and Cain just was like, oh man, I got a meeting with God, hold on, grabbed some fruit and brought it up. Okay, boom. So you just confirmed that for me. But still making the parallel, not talking about the Bible, but making the parallel to, actually raising our children. And just, when our children are displeasing to us, and meeting them with scolding versus redirection. Hey, let me explain to you what needs to happen. Because a lot of times, even though we say something to our kids, somebody said to me the other day, they have no idea what I'm talking about. And I was like, well, I'm speaking English. How do you not know what I'm talking about? But I didn't see that. I saw where it said, the Lord said to Cain, hold up. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you did what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. What is right? Tell me what is right. And I'm going to tell you what is right. And we're both going to have different answers. So for you to say to do what is right, and that is something that I ran into with my children, is, I would always tell my middle child, just do what's right. Like, why do you keep messing up? Just act right. Okay, what is right? Especially in a 10-year-old's head, in a 9-year-old's head, an 8-year-old's head. Again, I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about how we raise our kids. If you're not familiar with me, friend, I am a healthy family advocate. At least that's where my platform started. So I advocate for the health and the wellness of our families. And the reason why I'm reading the Bible, one, is for me to familiarize myself with God's word, but also make the parallel into how we are raising our families and the potential missteps that we are making. Hey, friend, and the potential missteps we are making within our families based off of the direction here. So God's redirection was to tell Cain, if you did what was right. What is right? I don't see anywhere in here, again, this is the only book that I'm reading, I don't see anywhere in here where God said, this is how you should bring offerings to me. I knew that Abel knew what to bring. Now, was that communicated earlier? I don't know. All I know is Cain just grabbed some stuff and brought it to God. Thank you for the love. I know Abel went and gave his best. And then when God went to, quote unquote, redirect Cain, it was, if you did what was right, you would receive what was right. But if you do wrong, then sin's crouching at your door. But what is right? My 11-year-old is having to be completely my 11-year-old is having to be reprogrammed, because I constantly told her up until recently, just do right. What the heck does right down? What does right mean? What does right mean? I'm breaking it down, King. I'm breaking it down. What does right mean? So we have to make sure when we are redirecting our children, we are telling them what right is, because right to me is different than right to you, is different than right to do, and right to, right to right. So I think we just need to get more specific. And, something I run into with my husband all the time, they have common sense. What is common sense? Common sense isn't that common. I have a video where I posted where my husband was like, go check the car to see if the lights are on the dashboard. And I went in the car and looked and see if the lights were on the dashboard. And I was like, no lights are there. He was like, did you turn the car on? I was like, no, I didn't turn the key. Was I supposed to? So common sense isn't that common. So you have to be, especially with children who you have never taught to think okay, boom. Some of our children know how to think for themselves. My firstborn knows how to think for herself. She's a self-starter, self-guided, ain't got to do nothing for her. She just already knows. My secondborn, I am also the secondborn. I bump my head a lot because the things that my sister was able to do, like my sister graduated from high school, top of her class, went to college, directly to college, applied to colleges on her own, showed up to school, nobody had to tell her, went to college, graduated from college, top of her class, got married, had children, the whole textbook life, the perfect thing to do. Me, on the other hand, started selling substances to feed myself because there was no food in the house and I was hungry, dropped out of school in the 8th grade, hung out with the riffraff, got back into school because my family finally interjected and intervened and got me back into school, and went through that, doing that, sneaking out the house, being promiscuous because no one's really telling me what to do, just telling me to do right, doing all these different things and, doing my version of right. I mean, I don't know what is right. Who's ever guided me? No one ever taught me anything. Everything that I know, I've taught myself. So in that respect, I'm interpreting the Bible according to my experience. What is somebody video I watched yesterday? Someone who is giving their opinion is really just giving their life story. So my opinion is based off of my experience and my life story. So I agree with that. But what is right? I'm just going to leave it at that. Some of us are able to do what society says is right in accordance to what we've observed. And some of us are just, we need a little bit more guidance. Okay, any gift given are not all received the same. Agreed. Go away, fly. Okay, break it down. Break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sound. All right, here we go. Now, Cain said, okay, his blood cried out to me. Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is more than I could bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. How you gonna kill somebody then be worried about being killed? But the Lord said to him, not so. Anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times more. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain made love to his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. Cain was then building a city, and he named it after his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad was the father of Mahujal, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced these names. And Mahujal was the father of Methuselah. And Methuselah was the father of Lamech. Lamech married 2 women, one named Ada and the other Zillah. Ada gave birth to Jabal. He was the father of those who live in tents and raise livestock. I just want to stop here and say somebody had 2 wives in here. That was a thing. Multiple wives. Interesting. His brother name was Jabal, and he was the father of all who plays stringed instruments and pipes. Zillah also had a son, Tubal Cain, who forged all kinds of tools out of bronze and iron. Tubal Cain's sister was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, plural, Adah and Zillah, listen to me, wives of Lamech, hear my words. I have killed a man for wounding me. Oh, another killing has taken place. A young man for injuring me. If Cain is avenged 7 times, then Lamech 77 times. All these spies around me, go away. Y'all want to hear the Bible too? Go away. Adam made love to his wife again, and she gave birth to a son and named him Seth, saying, God has granted me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. Seth also had a son, and his name was Enosh. At that time, people began to call on the name of the Lord. I wonder how Adam and Eve felt about Cain killing Abel. Like, that's something I would like to know. King, is there something out there that says how Adam and Eve felt about Cain killing Abel, and like what that did to the family? That had to do something to the family. And we have a son that passed away at 14. And we've had, no, the other 2 were born already. But I can't imagine, I can see how you can see it as a gift. You know, okay, I've lost a child, so thank you, God, for blessing me with another child. But I can't imagine, losing a child and be like, well, since that one got killed, God has blessed me with another one. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just curious, especially my family experiencing the loss of a child. What did that do to the family? Because I know my family is still reeling from, my husband is still suffering from the loss of his son. So I wondered, I'm just curious how that impacted the family. That would be a good lesson point. I know that's not part of the Bible, but that would be, can you teach us how? And it may be, I'm only on page 4. There's quite a few more pages. But I wonder if there's something that really tells us how to deal with the loss of a child directly. I'm sure there's something indirectly. There's so much good stuff in here indirectly. Like, anything I'm going through, I could just pop open the Bible, put my eyes on a verse, and it'll speak to me and I can internalize it. But I wonder if there's anything directly that can help with the death of a child. And your son killed your other son. Like, that's some gnarly stuff. All right, chapter 5, from Adam to Noah. This is a written account of Adam's family line. Okay. I am going to skip over the measurements of the ark and the measurements of the places that you go to make the sacrifices, the temples. I don't know what they're called right now, but I'm going to skip over the measurements, but I will say all the names. This is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them. And he named them mankind when they were created. All right, so that's where Adam came from, because he named them mankind when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Although Adam lived a total of 930 years and then he died. Could y'all imagine being on this earth for 930 years? Do you want to be on this earth for 930 years? I don't think. Would you want to be immortal? Because I know 930 years isn't immortality. How long do you want to live for? Like, okay, we know what the present life expectancy of the current humans, and thank you for the love, guys. Thank you for sticking with it and studying said Bible with me. we know what the current life expectancy is. And knowing what the current life expectancy is, what do you aspire to live to, and what are you doing to assure that you're able to live to that? I want to live until I'm 90. Hey, Carby. I want to live. I like the video you tagged me on. Thank you. I want to live until I'm 90, but what am I actually doing to assure that I live until I'm 90? I can't say that I'm necessarily living in accordance to what I feel is necessary in order to live until I'm 90. But I do desire to live till I'm 90, so there is a disconnect there. I need to make sure that I'm actually doing what's going to yield the fruit that I'm trying to produce, which is life till 90. But I don't know if I want to be on this earth, especially current earth, for 930 years. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters, although Seth lived a total of 912 years and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. After he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters, although Enosh lived a total of 905 years and then he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. After he became the father of Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters, although Kenan lived a total of 910 years and then he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters, although Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters, although Jared lived a total of 962 years and then he died. When Enosh had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Okay, that's the name I was trying to say before. I knew it was a familiar name, but that at all wasn't what the name was I was reading. Methuselah, after he became the father of Methuselah, Enosh walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Although altogether, Enosh lived a total of 365 years. Dang, Enosh's life got chopped in half. Enosh walked faithfully with God, then he was no more because God took him away. It says when Jared lived sons and daughters. God took Enosh. Everybody else was allowed to live. Why did God take Enosh? I know he walked with God, but why did God take him? Is it more a blessing to be taken by God than it is to live here on earth? I understand that, I'd rather be in heaven than here on earth type thing, but life is a blessing. I love life. Like, I'm not going to say that I necessarily believe in heaven and hell. I believe heaven and hell is here on earth. After I die, I don't know where my spirit goes. I don't really entertain that too much. I think living is enough of my focus. And as I live as an upright person and pleasing to what I believe God is. God asked me to get on this here camera and read this Bible, so I'm doing what I've been asked to do. But it's just like, he just took him because God loved him. But why did God take him? That's interesting. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. After he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Although Methuselah lived a total of 969 years and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named his son Noah, said, "He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Although Lamech lived a total of 777, angel numbers, and then he died. That's a blessed number of years to live, though. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth. All right, chapter 6. Wickedness in the world. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were very beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years. Their days will be 120 years. So I believe this is when God was like, y'all ain't living for, thousands of years no more. Y'all gonna get y'all little 120 and be good. The Nephilim were on the earth in these days and also afterward. When the Son of God went to the daughters of the humans and had children by them, they were the heroes of old men in renown. When the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them, they were the heroes of old men of renown. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Dang, he was like, man, this was my worst creation. I created all this, and man is my worst creation. Dang. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals, the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground. Well, he made them so that Adam could attend to them or whatever. Why'd the animals have to go? What the animals do? For I regret that I have made them. Even the animals ain't even did nothing. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord, because Noah was upright in accordance, I don't know, but Noah found favor. But everybody else was messed off in the game. Even the animals, even the birds. That's crazy. Noah and the flood. This is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people. This earth is pretty gnarly right now. Like, people have been saying the end of days my entire life, and I'm in my 40s. So, and it's only gotten worse. So I question if we are experiencing the rebirthing, because I do believe further along in the Bible, God promises not to destroy the earth as God has destroyed the earth in the past. But that doesn't mean a reckoning is not going to happen. At the end of the day, we are going to drive ourselves into destruction. We will be the causality of our own destruction, which is what's happening right now. So God really ain't even got to step in and destroy us. We're too busy destroying ourselves. But I wonder, within this awakening, this mass awakening that is taking place right now, I wonder if this is a part of something. I'm sure it is. Of course it is. But I wonder, sometimes we can actually figure out what's happening. And now I'm curious. So God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all the people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood, make room in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out. This is how you are to build it. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, middle, upper crest. Oh, I'll read the measurements. Okay. And 30 cubits high. Nothing is for accident, so these measurements mean something somewhere. Make a roof for it, leaving below the roof, an opening 1 cubit high all around. Put a door on the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. I am going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens. Every creature that has the breath of life in it, everything on earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the ark 2 of the living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird and every kind of animal and every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for you and for them. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Chapter 7. The Lord then said to Noah, go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate, and also 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. 7 days from now, I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and will wipe from the face of the earth every living creature I have made. I was just thinking about COVID and how when COVID hit and humans were forced to stay inside worldwide, humans were forced to stay inside, and animals and insects that were believed to be extinct came back into, existence. We're killing the earth, and that's obvious, but it was really mystical and magical for me to read reports or headlines. I didn't read reports, I just read the headlines. you know you know Bugs and insects that were believed to be extinct are now back because humans stopped destroying the earth. Pretty gnarly. And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came on the earth, and Noah and his son and his wife and his sons' wives entered the ark to escape the water of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals, of birds, and of all the creatures that moved along the ground, male and female, came to Noah and entered the ark, as God had commanded Noah. And after the 7 days, the floodwaters came on the earth. And that right there just reminded me of, you guys remember when that tsunami hit Indonesia? I believe it was Indonesia when it hit. And all the animals were headed towards high ground. Even the animals that were locked up and chained up were acting crazy. And an even more concrete example for me was, I remember my sister telling me a story about a tornado that was about to hit. She didn't know, of course, but a tornado that was about to hit where she lives, and her dog started going crazy, and her dog started running around the house and opening all the doors because her dog could open doors, but just going crazy. And the tornado ended up hitting the shopping center next to my sister's home. What I'm saying is, instinctively, animals know when something's about to go down. So I almost feel like I need to get me a dog or a cat or something, because when something's happening, they gonna know first. And when they start acting up, it's for us to pay attention. It's not for us to be like, calm down, calm down, calm down. If your child, not your child too, because they're sensitive too, but if your animal is erratically trying to, do it moving, you might want to figure out what they're trying to do it moving for. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, on the day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. It said that the floodgates were open, which means that the amount of rain that we do receive, the hell, leave me alone. The amount of rain that we do receive is tempered. Rain, it just sounds like, because if the floodgates were open, that means that they could be closed or they could be open to a certain degree. On that very day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, together with his wife and their wives and his 3 sons, entered the ark. They had with them every wild animal according to its kind, and all livestock according to their kinds, every creature that moves along the ground according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind. Everything with wings, pairs, and all creatures that have the breath of life in them came to Noah and entered the ark. The animals going in were male and female of every living thing, as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord shut him in for 40 days, and the flood kept coming on the earth. And as the waters increased, they lifted the ark high above the earth. The waters rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. The water rose and covered the mountains to a depth of more than 15 cubits. Every living thing that moved on the land perished: birds, livestock, wild animals, all the creatures that swarm over the earth, and all mankind. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils died. Every living thing in the face of the earth was wiped out: people and animals, and the creatures that moved along the ground, and the birds were wiped from earth. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. The waters flooded the earth for 150 days. Hmm. Hmm. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky. The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone down, and on the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Ararat. Sorry if I mispronounced it. The waters continued to recede until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. After 40 days, Noah opened a window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded from the surface of the ground, but the dove could not find nowhere to perch. Have a good day. Thank you. Okay, you can put it in on the dresser, because there was water over all the surface of the earth. So it returned to Noah in the ark. He reached out his hand and took the dove and brought it back to himself in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove from the ark. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Exclamation point. There's an exclamation point in the Bible. Then Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again, but this time it did not return to him. By the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. By the 77th day of the 27th day of the 2nd month, the earth was completely dry. I wonder if I were to actually look at all these numbers, like numerology. I'm sure these numbers mean something. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in numbers on it." So God entered the Noah 600 years old when the flood waters came. So he was 600 years and got off of that ark when he was 601 years old. So they were on there for a year. Wasn't no fornication going on. Wasn't nobody being fruitful and multiplying on that ark. Like, if there was two of every kind, and everything happens in its season. Like, there's mating seasons. Like, these animals had to be getting it popping on the ark because everything within this season. Or did they lose their seasonal clock because are the seasons derived by the sun and the moon and, the weather and all these different things? And if you're inside of the ark, you're not experiencing those things. It's almost like being in a cave. You lose track of time. So if you're in an ark and you don't have a sense of time, when is mating season? Is it nature versus nurture? Is it biology? I don't know. But I'm just thinking that ark probably got a little bit more crowded than what it was, because wasn't nobody procreating in the ark. Nobody. So Noah came out together with his sons and his wives and his sons' wives, all the animals, all the creatures that moved along the ground, and all the birds. Everything that moved on land came out of the ark, one kind after another. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and the clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offering on it. The Lord smelled the pleasing aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood, and never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done." God, you created humans. Why would you make them evil? Because of the fall of the man? So when man fell, they just became innately evil? Why would evil? They know good and evil. When they ate from the tree of good and evil, they became knowledgeable and aware of good and evil. So why would they just choose evil? Like, yeah, it says it's easy to do the wrong thing and it takes more effort to do the right thing. But when you start living upright, it's just easy. Like, when I was out here doing dirt, like, there was a lot of conspiring and a lot of moving pieces in order to do dirt. In order to live right and just do what I'm supposed to do, it's easy. Like, why would you choose evil? Like, that's a lot of work. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. All right, what time is it? All right, we're going to stop there. Today we covered a couple chapters. I'm not sure how many. We didn't have a lot of talking points from today. Today was just, who begat who begat. So there's not much there. The only thing that I really, took from that was how God, corrected or redirected Cain. And all he did was tell Cain to do right. If you do right, you receive right. If you do wrong, you get wrong, And in the human mind, especially knowing that all humans are evil, according to this here right there, all humans are evil, so much so that God destroyed the whole earth. I just think that God could have gave Cain a little bit more direction than just do right. But there were people who were capable of doing right, because there were people, including Noah, and I believe Enoch. I'm not sure. I may be, I'm not really good with names. But, were favored by the Lord. So there were people who were capable of being good. And all humans that were walking the face of the earth were offsprings of Adam and Eve. Therefore, we are one generation raising the next generation, imparting the same the beliefs. And I understand that you go out and you go do your thing, and Cain was sent to go toil the earth, so Cain's people ain't even got connection with Adam and Eve's people anymore. They're over there doing their own thing. So I get it, your family spreads out. But what I believe, and now I'm just talking about us as humans, not the Bible, but just based off of what we read in the Bible and how we can take this information moving forward, which is the purpose of the Bible for me, is I just believe we as humans can instill a deeper meaning of what it is to live purposely in our offspring and be more purposeful with raising them and teaching them and redirecting them. I posted videos recently of my daughter who, expressed to me that she identifies as a Christian, and I've never introduced Christianity to her. She found out about Christianity from her peers, and so I was asking her questions, and someone said, "You just came for her," and I was like, "I wasn't coming for her." Do I sound judgmental? Probably, because I have a bias. I was raised within that faith, and within that faith, it really messed me up. And I had zero relationship with God when I was within the religious framework. I developed relationship with God when I walked away from the church. I truly started seeking God for myself, knowing God for myself, reading the Bible for myself. I've read the Bible multiple times. I've listened to it on CD multiple times. But this time I'm actually reading from the consciousness and comprehension level that I have presently, which is completely different than when I did it then. That's why I'm really excited to read it. I'm really excited to read with you guys and interpret it according to what is between this cover and this cover, not in accordance to what other reference point says, but what is in accordance to this, because most people only have this and they're governing their life in accordance to this. So how can we effectively govern our life in accordance to what is within this book, this cover, and this cover, not other resources? And what we can take away from today is, when we are redirecting our children, we are not being so ambiguous as saying do better. We need to make sure that we are telling our children that this is what better looks like, because I'm not going to assume your better is my better, especially in your underdeveloped brain, that I've never actually asked you to think for yourself, because we as parents automatically do and say everything for our children. This is how you're supposed to dress. This is what you're supposed to eat. This is how you're supposed to walk. This is how you're supposed to hold your face. Pick your head up. We're telling all of our children different things. I walked around with my head down for years. I was such a depressed child, and depression wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. I walked around with my head down for years, and my dad would just say, "Pick your head up, pick your head up, pick your head up." But he never told me why I should pick my head up. He never told me why I should show pride in myself. He never told me why, walking around and looking at the ground, you can't see what's going on around you. You don't see the beauty of life. He did not find an anchor point to make his redirection have a meaningful point for me, to where I was like, heck yeah, I want to walk with my head up. Now I walk with my head up. Why? Because I am who I am, and I'm proud to be who I am. I walk with my head up because there's so much life to see. My spirits and my guides and my God and my ancestors and everybody, my higher self, is constantly communicating with me, and I'm going to miss it if I'm staring at the ground. I need to be able to look up and see what the heck is going on. So when we are redirecting our children, it isn't just for us to tell them what to do, but to tell them the why. And if you cannot tell your child the why effectively, that means that you must continue to learn your child so that you can effectively communicate with them. So if you are under the misconception that you stopped learning the day that you graduated from the point of whatever school that you graduated from, and you are done learning and now you are just living, you are fooling yourself and you are failing your children, because you need to be able to reach your children where they're at. You are blessed with the relationship that you have and the spouse that you have. You are blessed with the opportunities that you have and the friendships that you have. You are blessed with the family and the children that you have, because you are able to, on some level, connect with them, communicate with them, and they are also supposed to communicate with you. We are supposed to be learning from our children. Our children are teaching us. We are teaching our children from a place of wisdom, i.e., lived, learned experience. It is not because I said so. It is because I have experienced this, and I'm going to tell you what happened. And we don't only have to go off of my experience, we could go off the collective experience, and this is why. Now, your child is still going to venture off and do whatever it is if you did not reach them, and so you have to now figure out another way to reach them and figure out another way to reach them. We cannot keep saying the exact same thing over and over and there to our kid until they reach the comprehension level. We may not have a child that long. Like I said at the beginning of this live, we lost a child at 14. For us to assume that we have another day to reach our child and our child has another day to be reached. So we must maximize every second. That's why when I talk to my children now, I'm like, look, this may be our last conversation. And it's not that I'm being morbid, it's that I am letting my children know that I am very much aware. I am very much aware. The clock is ticking on me. God gave me 100 and something years, and apparently somewhere God gave me less than that. Because black folks is living into their 60s, if they're lucky. And I don't want to, I'm not talking about the one-off occurrences. I'm talking about what the census says or whatever the statistics say. What I'm saying is, if we are not living to live, earlier I said I want to live till I'm 90. But I'm not doing the things necessary to stay alive and vibrant. I don't want to be on a ventilator till I'm 90. I want to be moving, walking, talking with my brain functionality, getting up, wiping my own ass, and handling my business until I'm 90 years old. But what am I doing to make sure that that is so? And I also want to make sure every moment that I encounter anyone, not just my children, but anyone, I am feeding into them and I am transferring knowledge into them. And now that I am in the space of awareness of who I am and what I am, I also know that this is why I don't like idle conversation. I've never like, hey, how's it going? How's your job? Da, 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 da. How's the wife and kids? I've never liked that superficial conversation. And, my husband always wanted me to go around his friends, and I'm just like, I hate going around people because I don't care how your day is. I don't care how the wife or kids are doing. I don't care how your job is doing. I don't want to talk about the weather. Like, if we're not going to get real and heal, then I don't want to be here. And no, I'm not here to heal everybody. I made that mistake. My husband had a game night, and I was excited because I finally have come into me. I know who I am, and I know why I came to this earth. So I was excited to be myself amongst my peers. Man, I tell you, I scared those people, and they misinterpreted everything that I say, and it hurt my feelings because I was in my authenticity. And it taught me, it was just like, everybody's not ready for authenticity. Even if they say they are, they're not. So I save myself for my peers, which are you. And in that, I don't talk. I don't have a lot to say. A lot of people say I talk a lot. Well, yeah, I share knowledge. But I'm just saying, I just got something to say, reading a book right there, ain't you? Why am I going to restate the obvious just to have something to say? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. What you doing? You literally can look at me and see what I'm doing. So I tell my kids all the time, ask a better question. My kid comes to me, what are you doing? I tell them, look at me and tell me what I'm doing. And then they'll tell me what I'm doing. I'm like, good, so ask a better question. So just continuing to make sure that we are raising our children to be future leaders. Our children are our legacy, and we don't know if we have tomorrow with our children. Therefore, we must raise our children to their highest potential. Available on my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. I have a hoodie as well as a t-shirt that says FTK, F these kids, I'm raising adults, because I've never raised a child. I have always raised adults. I have always raised my children to be their highest potential. I don't raise children. I don't teach kiddie lessons. I teach adult lessons. So when people watch my videos and they're like, you're going too hard, for who? If you were raising a child, then you definitely should deliver this message so that a child can digest it. Your child can digest it. When you watch one of my videos, I am raising my child because my children, this may be the last conversation they have with me. And I need to infuse as much value into this conversation as my child. I want my children to have so many valuable interactions with me that they can't pinpoint one. You know how you could sit and you could see? With my mom, I had so many infrequent, valuable interactions with her. I actually have 5 good memories of her. I don't want my kids to only have 5 good memories of me. I want my kids to have so many memories of me that it's just ping, 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 ping in their brain. But the beautiful thing of all their memories is I taught my kids to think for themselves. So when I post videos and I'm talking to my daughter because she told me that she identifies as a Christian, and I'm just like, okay, how did you come to this space? Well, who told you you did not know God until you became a Christian? I need to know why you believe I need to know why you believe that whatever it is that you did have with God got wiped away or did not matter until you found an identity as a particular group of individuals. This isn't about people like me coming for a particular religion. No, this is just what my daughter identified as, so that's what the topic is about. But this is any type of religion. Why do you feel that you failed to have relationship prior to you identifying? And if you can give me a well thought out answer, well then boom, I'm a rock with you. But if you're just saying because that's what I was told, well, we need to dive a little bit deeper. So when I post these videos of me talking to my children, talking to my husband, people have said things to me about, that's not how you're supposed to speak to a black man. Well, that's not how you speak to your black man. But the way that I speak to mine is he's no longer going to tell me I don't know. You're not. Why don't you know? Either you don't know or you don't want to share with me, your wife, your chosen partner to go through this life with. So either you don't know and we have to identify why you don't know, or you don't want to share with me because there's some sort of wall between us, some sort of distrust between us, which means there's work for me to do and there's work for you to do. So that is what me and my husband are. That's the space that we're in right now, that we are trying to figure out how to trust each other and communicate with each other. Accountability and speaking impeccably. Yes, I am working on that. Voxter. Yes, I am working on taking accountability. When I tell you, friend, I went down the rabbit hole of toxic, narcissistic moms yesterday, and it was just like a mirror flashing back at me. I've already admitted that I'm narcissistic and toxic. I used to joke, you guys are going to need therapy after living with me. Thank you for the love. You're going to need therapy after living with me. I used to tell that as a joke, and I used to laugh, ha, 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 that my children are going to need to go to a therapist after my raising them. I thought that was funny. And it really hurt my feelings last night because I was going through all these videos of these black women, because it was a black mother and a black daughter. So these black women and these daughters are expressing their hurt, and their moms are refusing to take accountability because they feel justified in their answers or in their actions. I get it. We don't do anything that we don't feel justified in. But just because you can justify it doesn't make it right. And when your child is coming before you and telling you that your raising broke their spirit, what justification do you have? Someone broke your spirit too. That's your only justification. But if your child is coming to you, don't be so prideful that you can't say, I'm sorry. So that's the whole purpose of this content here. If you're not familiar with me, I'm Lonnie Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate at the core, but now, I'm just a spiritual being that I have agreed with God to be led and to teach. Because on Sunday, I'm going to share, thank you for the love, on Sunday I'm going to share a word of Job, which really which resonated with me. At the end of 2023, I fasted and prayed, and God told me 2023 was a Job season. And I'm on a wait till Sunday to actually share the story. I'm on here daily, 12 noonish. Right now it's 1:24, so an hour and 24 minutes ago, whatever your time zone is. Mountain Standard Time is my time zone. I'm here at 12 reading the Bible because God said, how you gonna call me out on what I'm supposed to do for you when you don't really know what I'm supposed to do for you? Everything that you know that I'm supposed to do for you, somebody told you. How about you actually pick up the book? And again, I've been exposed to the Bible, but I didn't internalize it. Like, I can pick up the Bible right now, read any verse, and apply it to my present life. So when I was listening to the Bible, I did it because I want to be able to say I listened to the Bible too. I want to be able to say I read the Bible too. I did it for those reasons. Now I am in this thing because I'm asking questions. I'm saying that don't make sense. And I know a lot of people are like, well, if you go search over here, I don't want to go search over here. I want what's between this cover and this cover and how it makes sense to my life, because most people are either listening to teachings that are based on this or raising their family because they read this. So we need to be able to interpret this and make it make sense so that we can be successful humans here on this earth and raise our children to be successful humans here on this earth and have loving and healthy relationships with our spouses based off of this, and be able to function and thrive and manifest. All of that is in here. There is magic between these pages, and I'm gonna find it. And I'm here every day, 12 noon, reading it because, thank you, dropping gems, God identified my flock, and not my flock like, I'm your leader, but God said, this is my flock, and I need you to go speak to them. You understand what I'm saying? 2023 identified those who believe they know God, but truly don't. And the way that they reacted to 2023 was the telltale sign. I'm going to wait till Sunday to deliver the message. But let's go ahead and get into our journals and digest what we heard today. I repost my lives on Lonnie Appleton Live on YouTube. The first couple of chapters are already up in addition to my other lives, but they'll just say, let's read the Bible or reading the Bible or something like that. So, you can check out those readings and those teachings. And yeah, I'm committed to showing up daily as long as, time permits. I made a promise to God, so I'm going to have to show up, y'all. Whew. Don't want to break that promise, but I'm going to show up. I'm reading the Bible every day, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. And afterwards, it's not for you to think I don't know what I'm talking about because you're more learned from what you have learned. It's for you to start thinking and conceptualizing and theorizing God for yourself. And that's all God asks. Get to know me. Have relationship, get to know me. That is all God has ever asked of any of us. You can be okay with building a dam and still emphasize that someone doesn't get water now. Yes, that was too high level. Let me read that again. You can be okay with building a dam, okay, and still emphasize that someone doesn't get water now. So I built a dam. You're removing access to something. Dams are temporary. So are we talking about a boundary? I have boundaries, and those boundaries are temporary. So we can move past this space when you're ready. If you're not consciously, cognizantly, emotionally, spiritually, all the different things. People tell me all the time they don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I'm speaking English. How do you not know what I'm talking about? Me and my husband butt heads all the time because he doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, I'm speaking English. How do you not know what I'm talking about? So there's a dam between us. Therefore, he is cut off from my water. Give me water. He's cut off from my water. He's cut off from my water. But that's not always. That's how I interpret that. I may be completely off, but you made me think, right? I don't have to think like you. It's the fact that your words made me think. So we need to stop taking people so literally. Yes, this is what I'm saying, but if what I'm saying is triggering you to process and think, therefore what I said was correct. You get it? What you said is what you said, and what it means to you is what it means to you. But the fact that I read what you said and then I was able to interpret what you said and make it make sense to me, you are correct, and so am I. Because now it makes meaning, it holds meaning to me. And now I can actually quote you and take what you said and take it where I said, where I want to take it. And then whoever hears that will be like, okay, they can now take it and run off with it however they run off. And now your wisdom is infinite. You know what I'm saying? Your wisdom doesn't die at the people that you want to understand you in the context that you said it. No, that's not what I meant. I meant it this way. That's fine. That's how you meant it. How I interpret it is how your wisdom is now infinite, because now your wisdom becomes wisdom to me and has meaning to me, and now I can help your wisdom live on. It has a whole new meaning, but it still started with you. Hey, is that a trumpet? Toot toot in this mother. Toot toot. Yes, I cuss and read the Bible at the same time. I know I'm terrible. I'm terrible. But I'm me. God said, do you. God needs to know that there's a place for us. Somebody posted, Miss LaDonna, not Miss LaDonna, I think she's younger than me. LaDonna posted in my comment, she's a community member, where she was saying that she got in an argument with some people of a particular faith because apparently there was a sanctuary out here who was playing secular music during New Year's. And they were like, everybody that's there is going to hell. And she was like, why? You know? And so that's what God called me. And when God called me, I was like, me? You calling me? This girl? And I was like, yes, because people like me have turned their backs, not me, but people like me have turned their backs on a tool that can truly unlock what it is we're searching for. And not just this is just the one that I've picked up, but there's tons of holy texts out there that people have walked away from a certain religion, and they have not only denied the religion, but they've denied the associated text, which this is the key. So now I'm reading all these secular books that are based off of someone's interpretation, when I could just go to this and interpret it myself. But because I cuss, but because I dress, I wasn't going to wear my Bishop hoodie available at LonnieLifestyle.com. I wasn't going to wear my Bishop hoodie because I was like, how am I going to wear Bishop while reading the Bible? Why not? Why not? Dropping gems. I totally get what you're saying. I always do. Your videos are very informative, aligned for me. Oh, that is so beautiful. Let me see. I adore your processing the way your brain works. Thank you so much. For so long I felt terrible because of the way that my brain works, because I don't think like other people. I felt like an outcast. I felt like I was weird. I felt all these different things. My husband right now just makes me feel like I'm an alien, even though I identify as an alien, and he throws that in my face. I mean, you're not human, you're an alien anyway. Like, he uses my identification against me. I don't identify as an alien anymore. I am human. Clearly I'm human, but I also understand I'm duality. So, and as I ascend into different spaces of consciousness, yes, I am God, I am an angel, I am an alien, I am higher consciousness, I am. I'm all the things. Why? Because I was created in God's image, and God is all the things. Therefore, I am interconnected to all the things. I am everything, which means I can tap into the consciousness of all said things and deliver those messages. So I'm not going to limit myself to just identifying as a human. I am everything. All right, because you said those moms couldn't emphasize that they hurt their kids. I remember saying it, and you can know it was needed, but that it still can hurt them. Okay, boom. Yes. Yes. Some of the things, y'all. Yo, friend. The rabbit hole that I went down last night. I will speak for myself. At the time that I was doing and speaking, and I still be talking, I was like, Lord, if one of my kids record me secretly and release the audio, I need to get myself together, because there are times, and I recently fell into a bad behavior space. Look, I've been myself for 40 some odd years. I've only been this person since last February. So, I've been this person. So I recently fell back into just like, and I'm aware, but I was like, if one of my kids record me, so it is for me to do the work to not even fall into those spaces. And I did. I cognizantly, emotionally, spiritually, all the leads, left it in 2023. I told God, I was like, God, I am so tired of being this person. Direct me into healing myself past that. And I know that God is capable of doing said things. I am God, therefore God is as expansive as I am expansive. If I am willing to reach for the stars, I will achieve the stars, because I am God. And God is going to show up for me as much as I show up for myself. So God, please release me from the chains of the space that I've been in. I don't need to get specific here, but I know it's possible, because I'm not who I was at the beginning of 2023 and the ending of 23. I have changed so much that my husband wants to divorce me. And I think I've changed for good, but the change is so much. We think just because we change for the better, everyone should be excited. But change is change. And if change is so drastic, no matter what the change is, especially if my husband is used to the toxic trauma bonding that we had before, which was a toxic trauma bonding that he grew up in, so that is what he's familiar with. For me to move into a more loving space, I'm thinking, but I'm loving you. He's like, but you went from abusing me to loving me, and you did it like, you didn't do it like this. You did it like this. And so I'm going to fight you. And I'm like, come on, I'm loving you. And he's like, yo, I'm still caught in trauma. And I'm here, but I'm still caught in trauma. Meanwhile, I'm going here. And I'm like, yo, let's go. And he's like, yo, I'm still here, because this is what was called for me to do. This is the work that was called for me to do. God said, in order for me to place you where I need you to be, I need to take you from 0 to 100 real quick. So the evolution and change that I did in 1 year is something that should have been happening over the course of a lifetime, but I just woke up in 2022. Started doing the work in 2023. So what should have been happening over 2-3 decades of my life had to happen in 12 months, actually less. Started in February, actually June, but I literally woke up in February. 2 different starting points, doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, in a 12-month time frame, I had 20-30 years worth of evolution that took place. My husband wasn't called for that. So now me and my husband are looking at each other like we're strangers, because he doesn't know who I am. And it is for me to have compassion. I built a dam. It is for me to have compassion, understand that just because I am moving in love, and I think that love should be received because it's love, if he doesn't know how to receive it because he's never received it, especially from me. Can you go with Andre where? To Cane's? As long as you get in your seat and you put your seatbelt on. Okay. Your seat is in the back of the car. Spirit just said for me to point out, he asked me, can he go? And instead of just saying, yes, you can go, I have to play chess and not checkers, because I know that there are family members that I have that will just put my children in a car and travel with them. And so I have to let my children know the importance of, I have to teach my children. It's not for me to expect the adults to handle my children with care. I have to teach my children their value and their worth. I don't care if anybody in the car is not wearing their seatbelt, you wear your seatbelt. If you are riding with an adult that has been drinking, you have every right to say, I don't want to get in the car. You have every right to say and advocate for yourself. I want my children to have a voice. How many children are no longer here because the adults that they were around were on some, and now they gone? And I get it. It was written, right? Everything is written. But also, if we have our children, y'all, I watch the most, and this is how I ended up down the rabbit hole. Now, I don't know how I ended up on this particular video, but I ended up down the rabbit hole because this young woman, she was a baby. She's a 20-year-old mom, and I can imagine how she was raised, so I have compassion for her. But the little girl couldn't have been more than, she didn't even look like she was old enough to be in school yet, so I'm gonna say 5 or less. And she like wrapped this present up for her. This is like 2 years ago. She wrapped this present up for her, and the little girl opens the present excitedly, and she's like, yeah, you didn't get nothing because you messed with my Ready Whips, whatever the hell, some kind of whip or something, which sounds like a kid shouldn't even have access to it. So, Mom, you're the irresponsible party here, not your kid, but you messed with my stuff, so you ain't getting nothing for Christmas. And she's cussing that little girl out like this is a freaking fort. And I'm not judging, because all of these mothers, as I watched them, I was like, to some degree, this is me. I've cussed at my kids. I still cuss. I'm working on it, but listening to these women cussing their kids out like some bitches and niggas on the street, I was just like, my God, this is a mother-child relationship. This is a father-child relationship. And I'm not letting the dads off the hook. I'm just saying, I, as a mother, was checking myself, because I was just like, what? Like, that little baby spirit was broken. She effectively broke her child's spirit before she was 5 years old. I've effectively broken 2 of my children's spirit. I'm not sure when. I raised Bailey the way that I was raised in my version, so I'm sure I broke her spirit. Out the womb, I was probably talking shit to her, but we are breaking our children's spirits and then wonder why our children are broken. But we were just doing what we needed to do. We raised you to the best of our ability. So it is our job to figure out how to correctly raise our children. And how it has been interpreted up until this point is wrong. God told Cain, do better. What the fuck does better mean? Come on now. Because you said, and you can know it was needed, but that it still can hurt them. Mine's cut off from my water too right now. Yes, no more projecting. Amen. I'm done. The old I see a 6 while you see a 9 deal. Both are right. It's perspective. Both are right. It's perspective. Both are right. And that is what I'm going through with my husband. He's just like, we both can't be right. Yes, we can both be right. So who's right? We're both right. And all of that comes from religion. There's only one pathway to God, right? Not the Bible, but, the religion that says there's only one pathway to God. There's multiple ones. There's only one way to do things. And so I'm bumping up against my husband because he's just like, we both can't be right, but we can. It's perspective. Perspective is the accumulation of my life experiences shaped my perspective. The accumulation of your life experience shaped your perspective. Therefore, we are both individuals. Therefore, we are both right. No one's wrong. We're both right. How can we learn to work together? Period. We got effectively, I don't care if my children are adults, they're still being raised. So we have 6 children to continue to raise until the day we leave this earth. And we have to figure out how to work together. Because I'm going to be honest, I used to go behind my husband's back and be like, you know what, don't even listen to him. This is what you need to do. Because I feel that my wisdom is more thought out and it's better and I'm right. So I used to go behind my husband and be like, I know he said that, but here's the da-da-da-da-da. You know, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be a house divided. I don't want my kids to think it's okay to undermine their father. I don't want my kids to grow up into women who, think men are idiots because that's the message that mom conveys. I don't want to raise my sons to be perceived as idiots because, that's largely how I feel, my personal experience. Boys have been raised to be men who don't use their brain because the women are so narcissistic that they must do everything their way. Just give it to me, I'll do it. Okay, well, how's he ever going to learn? You just cut your son off from an opportunity to be a man who knows how to think for himself. I cuss, words have power with intention. Words are just letters. This is true. I like a good cuss word, my friend. You already know what it is. All right. Yes. Expedition of your remembrance. Yes. 12 months. So many changes. So many changes. I don't even know me. I never said God. Now I'm sitting here reading the Bible preaching about God. Like, it's really weird. I text my husband. I was like, I can understand how jarring it is to speak to someone who 99% of the time is saying, well, Spirit said, well, it was revealed to me, well, God said. Is it God or is it Spirit? I'm like, it's both. Universe, whatever. Me, higher conscious, it's all the same. It's just whatever language I feel like using at the time. But I understand how it's jarring to go from how people speak normally to now your wife is constantly talking about the things that I talk about. Because I don't just like my content. My content is me. My content isn't okay, let me get in front of this content or let me get in front of this camera and I'm on my trampoline. That's why the camera's moving. I'm sorry. Let me get on this camera and just say some stuff, and then when I get off of this thing, I'm a completely different person. No, this is me, and God told me to be intentional and to show my evolution so that we all can see it happening. So many of us have only seen the brand. We haven't seen the work that's put in, and most of us don't even know the work we're doing. If someone has achieved, thank you for the love, if someone has achieved something great but can't tell you how they did it, that's because they didn't pay enough attention to themselves to figure out how they did it. They just give credit to God, but you are God. What did you do? So it is for us to start paying attention to ourselves. I paid attention to myself. If you don't have a copy of my book, What's the Best That Can Happen? I literally documented what I'm doing. I documented it in that book for $14.95 on Amazon. Just make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor. We are all scientists, and we all should be but actively figuring ourselves out and running experiments on ourselves. Our life is a freaking classroom. We constantly can be running experiments and seeing, okay, well, that didn't work. Let me refine it. So when my husband's like, I've said it already. Well, you need to say it again, but say it different. Say it again, but say it different. Say it again, but say it different. Do it again, but do it different. Do it again, but do it different. You're going to do that every single day of your life until the day that you leave this earth. And that is how you're going to continuously refine yourself, perfect yourself, and become the perfect being that you were when you were born onto this earth. We are born perfect. And then we screw ourselves up by the hands of our parents. Yes, he doesn't feel it for himself yet. And I'm really, really hoping, to get to the point where he feels it for himself. I get hopeful when I talk to you guys and I tell stories and, I showed the little, it's so funny. You see the sun peeking out of the clouds. When I tell you, Spirit is always confirming and talking to us. Because what I was about to say, when I see those little glimpses of light from my husband, and then I looked up at the sky and I see the little glimpse of the sunlight, so I see this confirmation, so Spirit is saying, keep talking your stuff, sis, because you're talking what you're supposed to be talking. When I see those little glimpses of light in my husband, I get excited, and I'm just like, he's getting it. But then I actually go and interact with my husband, and I'm just like, I don't know what do you want from me, God? Because this is a fucking brick wall. This is a dam. I literally use that freaking language, sis. I use that language so I know that we are talking and we are connected. Because I tell my husband, I was just like, yo, I'm trying to flow like water and you keep building dams and stopping. You're stopping the flow. Why? But it's also for me to do, right? It's also for me to understand that I went from 0 to 100 real quick. So he's going to be like, hold up. But the fact that we love each other, we have to figure out how to make it work. And it sounds so good while I'm sitting here on this trampoline talking to you guys. It feels and it sounds real good. But then when I get face to face with my husband, I'm just in that energy of resistance. It's just like, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm going to be over here, you be over there. I don't dislike you, but I'm going to be over here and you be over there till you figure it out. And I don't want to move like that. I don't. I want my best friend back. And that's why I told God when I was fasting and praying, thank you for the love. When I was fasting and praying over the last 3 days of 2023, I told God, I was like, look, I destroyed my family. I blew my family up for you. This whole platform, it started out as my agenda, because remember, in order for us to receive any type of message, it has to come in a palatable presentation, right? So it has to be something that we can easily digest. So, I may come in like, hey, how's it going? And then, but God, 10 minutes later, because I had to come in a way that is appealing to you. If I come in, when you click on my live and I'm on something that you're just like, oh, I don't vibe with that. But if you click on my live and I'm saying something that piques your interest, and then I slide into something else, but you already here, so you're sliding with me, that's different. So with my husband, I don't even remember the point I was making, but I made a point. Yes, he doesn't feel it for himself. Yes, safe boundaries. Seriously, love your brain. Thank you so much. I really love that. I really appreciate it, because a lot of people make me feel unloved because of my brain. So thank you. If nobody has reflected lately how magical you are, I see you. Thank you. God dang it. And that's why I told God, boom, thank you for bringing me back to my point. I have destroyed my family for you. I want the money. I want the success. I want my family back. And I want my health. God said, for each day that you show up for me, you got one request. I want to be able to live my life in abundance doing this work. Can you imagine me going to go work at McDonald's? And I'm nothing against McDonald's, that's just a business. Going and working at a desk job, going and being a ABC 123 teacher, going and doing anything, and then doing this on the side, when we all know this is why I'm on this earth. Like, this is my bag. Now this needs to bring me a bag. God, I am doing this for you. When I started TikTok, I was just showing my family, cute little kids fighting and bickering, and cute little moments. And oh, look at the cute little moments. Don't take the moments for granted. Your life is full of little moments. And if you appreciate the little moments, you'll appreciate the big ones. Or you'll appreciate your life, because if you're waiting for the big moment for you to appreciate your life, you're going to be waiting for a while. Because how often are the big extravagant moments? But every moment is a motherfucking moment. Right now is a moment. Like, this should be fulfilling you and feeding you and making you feel fucking phenomenal. And now you can take this energy and go off and continue to be a fucking boss in your life, because you bossed up in this moment. So that's what I started my content as. I did not start my content to be sitting on this goddamn trampoline in the middle of winter talking about, but God. But since you brought me here, sustain me. Since you brought me here, elevate me. Since you've destroyed my family in the process of bringing me here because me and my husband were best friends. Me and my husband can sit and laugh and just kiki for hours. Me and my husband don't even talk right now. You did that. I'm going to say I did it because I don't know how to navigate. You told me to do it. I'm going to just do it. And I'm going to stand on what God told me to do it. So, I'm going to do it. But guess what? While I'm doing it, because I don't know what I'm doing, but I am doing what you told me to do in my imperfect way, my family's fucked off. Nobody likes being in our house right now. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Well, not everybody. There's a couple of key people who are being dams and resistors, which are causing the issues because they think we're trying to change them. But we all are trying to figure out how to move in this space together, collectively, lovingly. How can we all look out for each other, not out of obligation, but because we are all family, we are all love, and we know we all need support. How can we show up for each other? How can we move into that energy? Sounds simple, right? It's not simple. And so I had a conversation with God the last 3 days of the year, and I was just like, look, I need the money to pull up. I need the stages to pull up. I need the interviews to pull up. I need the opportunity to spread this word, mass media. I got 2 people sitting on this live right now. I need 200,000 people sitting on this live right now. I need the audience. You told me to do it, and I've been doing it for a year. I'm going to continue to do it, but I need you to do your part. And God said, well, what's my part? You tell me. And until you can tell me what I said that I was going to do, because you found out for yourself, I ain't doing nothing. So that's why I got my ass on this trampoline reading this Bible, because you going to do something for me. You ain't going to keep playing me. Yes, I say this, scientists that dissect the lessons. Yes. This is a new revelation for me, knowing that I am a scientist. I picked up a book because we're led, right? So I posted something about reading the Bible, and somebody came in and they told me, one of the books are called The Master Key System, and the other one is called I'm trying to visualize the cover. I can't think of what it's called. Like, I see the cover, but I can't see the cover's name. But anyway, in that book, it was talking about how we're all alchemists. And alchemy is science. And I was like, well, if I'm an alchemist, I'm a scientist. And I really just started thinking about my life, and I was like, I really have been. Even when you listen to my old videos and I'm talking about, well, it's just a theory, or just like, I have to go back in and test some stuff out. Like, I was using the language, even though I didn't identify as a scientist at the time. But the language that I was using, it was just like, I've known I was a scientist, and now that I know that I'm a scientist, I'm so intentional. Like, I'm figuring this life out, and I'm teaching you guys how to do it along the way. That's why I'm filming all of this stuff. It's not about the views today. It's not about any of those things. It's about when this thing finally hits the way that it's supposed to hit, because God's not having me out here destroying my life and post my life out here to be judged by all these people for nothing. Since 2013, God has said, show up and share your business. I clearly heard God's voice in 2013 that told me, show up and share your business. I started my blog, LonnieLifestyle.com, which is now my website. Check it out. Pick up your merch, pick up your books, pick up your coaching, pick up all your things, But I started in 2013 because God said, my people must come out of the shadows. My people must begin to live intentionally. Okay, I see you. Go about your business. You a whole new insect. Go on now. God said, my people must come out of the shadows, and my people must learn how to live intentionally. And the reason why my people don't know how to live intentionally is because they've never seen anyone live intentionally. And I know that God's going to elevate me because some people will only look at me. You are paying attention to me because I'm a bright light. Because I'm a bright light. You see my inner glow. But there's some people who won't listen to me until I become a shiny object. And once I become a shiny object, now those people listen to me. Well, God must capture all the audience. So those of you who are attracted to the light are attracted to me. Those who are attracted to shiny objects will ultimately be attracted to me. But God needs all of them to wake up. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yes, that they are afraid. I get it. But it is intense to be with us. We are very old. My God. But my husband is old. When I tell you my husband's spirit team, my husband has his father, his brother, and his son on the other side. What is my husband supposed to be doing or encountering in this lifetime that his spirit team consists of his father, his brother, and his son? Like, he got some serious people standing behind him on the other side. And I just look at my husband and I just know he's just an old wise soul, but he's just so into the black man image. That's why they go so hard on us, right? That's why they go so hard to break us, because if we truly knew who we were, the power we possess, the natural abilities we possess, that's why we are the most oppressed. That was a beautiful bar. I ain't barred in a while. No way, your brain is way past the type of job now, especially. I'm trying. You hear that? I can't go get a job. I need you to bring me some funding, please, and thank you. At least make my husband's business boom. He's a barber, so if you're in Arizona, check out Dre Cuts. My husband used to make so much money. He took care of our household and other households. And in the year of 2023, his clientele dried up to the point where he got to borrow money to pay our bills. And all that's intentional, right? Why is God bringing us to our knees financially? Well, one of the things is, and I just went into some videos I filmed back in July. I'm dumping all of I have over 200 drafts, and I'm dumping them on our YouTube. They won't be here. They'll be posted on YouTube. Actually, these videos I posted them as stories, so they'll be there for 24 hours. But otherwise, everything's going to YouTube as the apple turns. So make sure you go check out the content over there. I don't know how to play the algorithm game, so those videos over there don't get any views, but the content is muy bueno. But anyway, we just had that conversation. I was like, God brought you. My husband thought his value was in his ability to be a provider. And he thought that he still thinks, I don't know why this man thinks I'm still only with him for his ability to provide for me. I could put this booty on duty so quick and go find me somebody else to take care of me if that was the case. So I don't understand why my husband still feels that way about me, but he prided himself in his ability to provide. These pigeons are fighting, or whatever kind of birds they are, they're fighting. He prided himself and saw his value in his ability to provide. And so now that he's unable to provide, he must find his value in other ways. So in that respect, this is a blessing. It is a blessing for him to see that I am down for him regardless of no matter how much money is in the bank account. I'm still here. I'm still showing up. And our difficulties have nothing to do with finances. Now, our difficulties have to do with his self-worth in relation to finances, and that's work for him to do. But he knows that I am here because I am here. we are bumping up against each other, and never once have I said, and you can't pay these motherfucking bills. I ain't never said that to my husband. Because I'm sitting in this shit like, dang, I thought when we couldn't eat lobster twice a week was bad. I'm over here trying to manifest crab legs. I am trying to manifest crab legs. I know that I have figured out how to manifest when my ass gets me some crab legs. Because I was like, man, there are two times that I said, on this date, I need to be eating crab legs. I still ain't ate none. So I'm still trying to figure it out. But revolutionary minds, amen, yes. Everything and everyone knows something you don't observe, my God, and that is the beauty of it. Your commentary here has grown me exponentially, and that's the beauty of it. Like, there's always something to learn. I'm learning from these freaking birds that are flying and doing whatever. You literally can sit and stare at anything and learn a lesson if you want to, and I want to. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. You will be sustained, I have no doubt, in what's coming. Oh, thank you, Jesus. From your ears, or from your fingertips to God's ears, because I know it's coming. 2024 is the year. I claim it for all of us. All of us that went through it in 2023 and learned what it was we were supposed to learn in 2024 is about to be expansive and explosive. I claim it and I know it. I know it in my heart because God, the God that I serve, I don't know about the God y'all serve, but the God that I serve did not bring me to my knees. My knees, things that would take people out, literally broke my marriage. For nothing? We just gonna keep falling further? What else is further? I know what's further. I ain't asking because I want to know. I'm just like, shit, we ain't even got a car to live in no more than a repossessed truck, so we can't even live in our truck. What the hell? What else is further down? Let me know. Everybody gotta come up. You're only gonna go so low before you bounce up. So I'm ready for the bounce. Likely to do with broadcasting of some kind, just saying what I see of this cross, if that crosses boundaries. Now, go on and say what you see. I wish, do you, sis, when I tell you how many spooky dooky people are in this goddamn community, but don't none of y'all be reading for me? God dang it. Tell me what you see. I'm like, I got all the freaking woo-woos. I live in freaking woo-woo land. Tell me what you see. And I do the same for you guys. I'm sure I answer a lot of questions for you guys indirectly. Things that you're pondering, I'm sure that I've answered those questions, and you've actually said it in your comment. You'll hop on a video and it gives you what you need at the time. So yes, no boundaries being crossed there. But yeah, so boom, this is how I receive what you're saying, and I receive it as confirmation because last night I happened across some talk show, some man, I don't know who he is, he's a black man and he has a talk show, and he's dealing with these volatile families, and I'm actually looking at him and I'm just like, yo, I wouldn't even know how to work that out because their problems are too deep for a 1 hour broadcast, which is actually 45 minutes with all the commercials. You can't even begin to dissect what is happening between this mother and this daughter, this father and this parent and this child. Let's just say that. You can't even begin to dissect what is happening between these two. And what I noticed with what he was saying, was, you need to know that you showed up for yourself. And tomorrow you're going to continue to show up for yourself. And you got to know that you're powerful. And how, buddy? How, buddy? If I knew how to break this freaking cycle, I wouldn't be in this cycle, buddy. Give me some how to. Who knows the how? I do. So when I went down that rabbit hole last night and I somehow ended up from the girl who got the empty present where the mom broke her spirit and it broke my heart for this little girl, to this guy who has a talk show, I was like, yo, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. God, why are you showing me people who are doing what I'm aspiring to do? Why do you keep showing me people actually being successful doing what I am out here attempting to do. Send people into my trajectory, into my pathway, so that I can start doing the work. Because I don't just stop at, we know what the problem is. I don't just stop at, you need to start showing up for yourself and know that you're a powerful being. No, I tell you how. My gift would be more on a Ayanla's Heal My Life vibe, where I go into people's spaces and I observe how they live. And I say, okay, boom, right here. Let's heal that. Let's redirect. Live some more. Okay, boom, stop that. And I actually did that with these little kids who were playing on a street corner. They were bumping up against each other. December 1st, they were bumping. I'm gonna have to go inside because my battery's about to die, but nobody's home anymore, so that's okay. I had to come outside because Dre was still home, and I don't like feeling judged. You know, I'm not saying he does judge me. I just feel judged when I'm doing my thing and people are standing around me. But you know, these little kids were on the street corner bumping up against each other. And, you know, I was being playful with them. But I saw them bumping up against each other. It's 3 little black boys. Hold on. Hey, B. I saw the do-rag. I was like, huh? What man is...
Michael called me Andre.
You got you. I thought you were Andre too, but I was like, Andre wouldn't be wearing the do-rag. Who's the only one in the family who needs a do-rag? Bailey is.
Right?
Oh, that's so funny.
Do-rag.
Young do-rag.
Is it really funny or are you suggesting?
No, it's not funny. No, it's funny that the only person in our family that needs a do-rag is a female. That's what's funny, but your hair is not funny. I like your hair.
Yeah, I know. I still haven't shown the world yet.
Oh, I've shown. I've shown.
Hey, Mom.
Who? Is that Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Where's he in?
How was school? He went with Andre to Canes. How's your hair?
Good. Guess what's under my hat?
What's under your hat?
I can't tell you. You have to guess.
A snack cake. A pack of donuts. Okay, let me actually use my intuition. I don't know, a bottle of milk. Now tell me.
How will a bottle of milk fit in my...
I don't know. Anything is possible. What's under your hat, son?
I can't tell you. I can't see.
Well, then I'm shutting the door. You don't have to show me. Are you going to show me or not? I got work to do.
It starts with a P-O.
P-O?
Yeah.
Potato.
No.
Then I don't know.
It's P... Okay. Do you know Pocky Sticks?
Oh, I would have never guessed Pocky Sticks.
Which flavor?
Strawberry.
How?
Yes, no.
Yes.
At least I knew strawberry. I would have never guessed Pocky Sticks, but I was right about strawberry.
You want one?
No, I don't want strawberry Pocky Sticks, but thank you. All right, y'all. I told y'all my content is my real life, so I got a mom and kid and wife at the same time. But yeah, so my content would be on the, oh, this is the wrong, hold on. I gotta switch stands. My content would be on the Ayanla Fix My Life vibe. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, because I was standing on the street corner with these little kids, watching them have conflict. And I tell this story often because it's a pivotal story in how I've come into knowing. And so, there we go. I'm watching these, it's three little black boys, but all I see is three little black boys that if they do not learn the skills how to work together will become three black men who don't know how to work together, right? And so I take these kids to the side and I'm like, hey, you know, boom, boom, boom. And as I'm like, boom, 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 as I'm like, boom, 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 then the boys go back out and they test it out, right? I need some chapstick. They done made my Vaseline disappear. So the boys go out, god dang it, and they test it out. So I believe that that would be how my gift would be best used. Yes, it'll be like, the beautiful thing about this is I can express it in writing. I could express it in a 1 hour talk show. I could express it on a blog. I can express it in a book. What is it? Green Eggs and Ham. You know, I can express it anywhere, Sam I am. And so I can do a 1 hour talk show, but I can also do a, immersion. But the most effective healing that I will be able to do is immersion, i.e., come into your space, actually observe you in your environment. Because like I said, in theory out there talking about, my husband making his progress and all those things, yes, it sounds beautiful. But then I come in the house, I'm in the energy of it all. It's very difficult to take that theory energy and bring it home and apply it. So while we're sitting on a couch with the host and they're like, yeah, this is how you need to do it, and you're like, yeah. But then you get back into your home environment and then you fall back into flow because that's the ease of it all. And, yes, you gave me tools, but tools are just a guiding system, right? If you don't have the internal skills to be able to apply these tools consistently in a way that is sustainable, then you're going to fall back into old habits. I've been on this thing. I'm actually the advocate and I've fallen back into old habits. So, that's just, it's a journey. So what I see is like, and I used to watch Iyanla fix my life and I was like, man, I could do that. And back then I was jealous of other people. So I was like, man, I could do that better than her. No, Iyanla did Iyanla the way that Iyanla does her. But I think that is the methodology that would be best suited for my healing abilities. Let me know I am safe. I don't sell anything. I don't sell anything, just being clear, because it sounded like I was about to sell you a read. Girl, no, we just talking. But, yeah, go and drop in my DMs. Go and drop in my DMs if you just want to talk and whatnot. Hold up, I just went. Yes, Minnie. See, I can't miss these messages. These messages are good. You out here feeding my spirit. But, yeah, when I communicate with people, it's so high frequency, high vibrational. That is, and then, we come into each other's life and it's hot and it's intense. And I'm looking at this candle burning. It's hot and intense. Whenever I come across teachers, that's what I identify, teachers, reason, season, lifetime. It's hot and intense. And we're just like, oh my God, this is going to be this way forever. But no, as soon as we're done giving each other what we need to give each other, it's like, phew. And it's not a bitter, it's not a nothing. It's just that intensity goes away because God brought us together for a specific reason. And once we achieve whatever that is, we separate. So feel free to hop into my DMs and let's vibe. I'm sure I have something for you and I'm sure you have something for me. And then once we've given each other what we need, we'll stop talking. It'll start happening naturally. We'll just stop talking and it'll be natural. It'll be unnatural because we're like, no, we were vibing. We're supposed to be friends forever. But if we know that God brought us together for a specific reason to deliver specific messages for each other, and once we're like, well, I ain't really got nothing to say today, don't say nothing. You ain't got to stop and say, so, hey, how's the weather? We just stop talking. And it's all love. And then when you see me, you're like, hey, sis. And I'm like, hey, sis, I ain't seen you in a minute. You know, it's all love. It doesn't have to be a bitter break. That's what society tells us, but that's not how it's supposed to be. We are all meant to flow in and out of each other's lives beautifully, wonderfully. But we always want to cling on to people and hold on to them. And when we can't hold on to them, it's bitterness. Yeah, it is what it is. You will have it when it's time for sure. Perhaps some things are in the way, but I think you know. I don't know what's in the way. Elemental. When I'm thinking elements, I'm thinking like Mother Gaia. Is Mother Gaia blocking me? Like, but since you said that, elemental, the elements, but then I'm also hearing eliminate. There's some things I need to eliminate. I don't know. But now that you planted a seed, yes, because you have pattern recognition that's very on point. I love that you see that about me because I love patterns. Like I've always said, I see patterns like this led to this, 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 led to this. I literally am now, for the year of 2024, keeping a timeline of different things that happened in the day that led. Yo, real quick. So I was watching videos where this is now shifted off of Bible study. I'm not supposed to still be on here, but we talking, so I'm gonna do what I want to. I was hearing how, you know, when you see the same people like back to back, it's a glitch in the matrix, or, you know, spirit is telling you to pay attention. Now, I've never experienced this before. And I don't know if I experienced yesterday, but I posted a video a while back where I know 100% that I time. Well, I don't know if it's timeline jumping, but something supernatural took place. Because when I was talking to my daughter, she said one thing and I responded to what she said. But the next day when I went to edit the video, she was saying something completely different in the video. And I was like, hold up, she didn't say that in the moment. And I know that the proof is because 2 videos later, I'm responding to what she said. So there's an actual video of me responding to what I heard, but then when I'm editing the video, she's saying something different. So I was like, I jumped timeline somewhere in there from the version of me that heard her say what she said to the version of me that where she said something different. So I jumped timeline somewhere in there. And so I am under the belief and understanding, and I am receiving and knowing that we are jumping timelines all the time if we actually paid attention. Like I was talking to my cousin, and she was telling my other cousin, she's like, don't you speak Spanish? And she's like, no, I know a few words. She's like, no, I swear you know Spanish fluently. And I was like, yeah, I kind of remember when we were teenagers, she took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and, you know, she was fluent in Spanish. She was like, yeah, I remember her taking Spanish in high school too. I was like, we must have jumped timeline somewhere to a version of her that doesn't know Spanish, because if we both remember her knowing Spanish, sis knew Spanish at some point. Because we remember it. We're not having a false memory. We always discount something. Oh, this is a false memory. No, you jump timelines, and if you become aware that you're jumping timelines, and this is the stuff that I talk about that people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I think this might be it. Anyway, you know, and I didn't know what I was talking about before until it came into my field of awareness, and I was just like, oh, the simplicity of it, because they're like quantum realms and, you know, quantum physics and all this different stuff. When The Secret came out, I was like, what the hell? That stuff made no sense to me, but it makes sense to me now. And I can explain it in a way that I think makes sense, but I guess it doesn't to some people. But anyway, you know, we always say it's a false memory, like my childhood. I swear my sister did not live with me. And the bedroom that became hers was actually my playroom. And I remember being pissed off because when she came to live with us, I had to take all of my toys out of that room and put them in my room. I was so mad. Like, this is my bedroom. This is my playroom. And I don't have toys in my room. They're in my playroom. And I remember because I got my butt beat because I smashed Play-Doh into the carpet. That was my playroom. And I had to move all my stuff because my sister was moving back in. And to this day, no one remembers my sister not living with us. I was like, well, where were you? My sister's like, I don't know. I don't ever remember not living with you. I was like, okay. I was like, either you're remembering a different childhood or I'm remembering a different childhood. And I had a traumatic childhood, so maybe I'm not. I jumped timelines. That's the only explanation. And people are like, that's not an explanation. No, that's a very logical explanation. You think I have a completely fake childhood that I remember? Or is it more realistic that I jump timelines? I think it's more realistic that I jump timelines and I created this whole false childhood. Like, that's more unrealistic than actually jumping timelines. Anyway, we're at the mall. When we're walking in the mall, and it's always me and Bailey. Me and Bailey or something, I don't know. But it's me and Bailey. We're walking into the mall, and there's these two women and this man and a little girl in a little pulley cart. And I remember looking at the pulley cart, and the little girl is losing her fucking mind. Like, she's losing her stuff. And, the family's just trying to get out the mall because this kid is losing their stuff. And Bailey comments on, yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, they're probably just trying to get out the mall, and once they get her out the mall around people, they're going to We go in the mall because I forgot. No, they didn't give me what I paid for. So I had to go back to the mall to get what I paid for. So I didn't go to the mall to go shopping. I went up in there, walked in like, hey, y'all forgot to give me my yada yada. They're like, here you go. I was like, oh yeah, can you tell me what this crystal is? She takes a few minutes to identify the crystal and then out the mall. 5 minutes max. We are walking in, backtracking. When we are walking in, this family is walking out. Okay? They're leaving the mall. When me and my daughter are leaving the mall, this same family is leaving the mall again. But this time, the little girl is chilling and she's happy and she's playing. And the man is walking ahead of them instead of walking together with him. And the two women are walking together. And I remember looking at them. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Two people with the same pulley people. Because I didn't make the connection. Because why would these people be in the mall a second time, right? And, I was like, oh, that's really cool to see two people in a row with the same kind of pulley situation. And then I looked up and I was like, 1, 2, 3. I was like, is that the exact same family, Bailey? She was like, yeah. I was like, and then I started looking around because I remember reading or, hearing in the videos, when you see the same people cross your path, Spirit is trying to tell you to stop and pay attention to something. So I stopped and I started looking around, and Bailey started looking around like, what the hell are you looking for? And I explained to her, that was a glitch in the matrix. And, she explains it away like, because there was a toy on the floor when we walked in. And so I was like, well, maybe they came back in because she dropped her toy. But I was like, but why would the entire family come back into the mall when somebody could have just effectively ran into the mall, got the toy? Why are you going to bring a screaming ass kid? Like, it wasn't like the kid was like, no, this kid was like, like this kid was raging. Why would you bring that kid back into the mall? Why wouldn't you just leave that kid in the car while somebody ran in to go get whatever they need? Why would the entire family of 4? Wouldn't it be more effective? Like, I'm just using my logical brain. It would be more effective. This is how I would do things. Now, people, they might be like, well, let's just all go back in the mall because nobody wants to wait in the car. But why would the whole family come back? Instead, you got to break down this little pulley thing and put the kid in the car and buckle up and everybody. By the time you do all that, somebody could have ran in, got the toy, and came back. I don't even know if the toy belonged to them, honestly. I'm just trying to make some sort of connection. But what I was saying was, I believe I experienced a glitch in the matrix. Because the same family that was leaving the mall, it wasn't like they was coming in and we were leaving at the same time. No, they were leaving and they were leaving again. Like, what the fuck you come back in the mall for in 5 minutes? Like, what did you come back into the mall to get in 5 minutes or less? And us crossing paths a second time. And then I told Bailey, why every time we throw something out for bulk pickup, just start paying attention to what's going on around y'all. Why every time we throw away bulk pickup, everybody's throwing away the same stuff? We had a leak in our bathroom. This is when I first noticed it. Well, I noticed for everybody else, but I noticed that we were a part of it this time because we had a leak in our bathroom. And so, like, the leak had been happening however long the leak had been happening. But the timing of the leak where we actually got it fixed and we had to throw away stuff from the bathroom, the bulk pickup, everybody had stuff because everybody's doing a bathroom remodel at the same time we are. And I had noticed that before, like everybody throws away the same stuff at the same time. Right now we have a mattress on our curb because we're throwing out a mattress. When I drive through the neighborhood, there's at least 4 other mattresses on a curb. I was like, we live in a motherfucking simulation because every time we throw something away or just look around the community, everybody's still like, we all throwing away mattresses at the same time. We all get new mattresses at the same time. We all doing bathroom remodels at the same time. We all throwing furniture away at the same time. We all throwing away doors at the same time. I'm just saying there's something going on. And because I know that there's something going on, a part of me is like, is manifestation real? And I believe that we're Sims characters too. I do believe that there's somebody and we are avatars. Because I look at Dre and I was like, all he does is get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. I was like, that's like a video game. You know how video games just loop and loop and loop and loop? We're in a simulation somehow. I don't know if it's a self-created simulation or just a simulation, but there's motherfucking simulation there. Yes, because you have a pattern. Yes, I love. Yes, it's coming. So, the pattern recognition, I see all of this stuff. I'm paying attention. I'm seeing patterns. And that's all life is, right? It's a series of patterns. That's all the matrix is a series of ones and zeros. That's all a program is a set of patterns. Now, I'm not mathematically inclined. Like, I could probably 16 plus 16. That's about as high as I can do in my brain. I'm not that bad. But what I'm saying is I'm not mathematically inclined. I didn't go into forensic sciences because they were like, you got to go up to trigonometry. And I was like, well, shit, I barely made it out of algebra 1. So forensic science is not in my future. Yes, it's coming. He is old. I have seen his energy. He's just holding on to ways that aren't needed now. He is afraid. And now that you say that he's afraid, I should have more compassion. Maybe I shouldn't go there, but he's a very old soul. You could go wherever you want to, sis. Now, if you don't feel comfortable going there publicly, DM me. But yeah, you can say whatever you want to. You know my content. I say whatever the hell I say. Hey, Ree, I say whatever the heck I say. So say what you need to say because I say the same thing. But yeah, he is afraid. And I tell him that. Well, I say he's insecure. I'm like, you're just insecure. But yeah, he is afraid. He's afraid of the unknown. He's afraid to release that which he has identified. And I tell my husband all the time, of recent, I was like, you're running against identification. We're all bumping up, not me, but all of this is bumping up against his identity, who he identifies as and who he has known himself to be. And he always says, I'm 49 years old. You don't think I know who I am? Nah, babe. Not if you saw what I saw. You have no idea who you are. Because the day you come into knowing who you are, you're going to be something powerful. And I'm literally be in front of you like, because he's so powerful and he's so closed off to it, which is on purpose, right? So let me see. I appreciate you. Yes, I have many videos saying if you need guidance, go watch A Bug Outside. Really? I need to get into other people's content. You guide within, that's real guidance. Yes, I have had a talk show and a radio show. I'm actually on a show on Discovery, but was just production, and I know what's coming will be in broadcasting for me, and you have that same energy. Amen. Yes. I've done all of it on the independent scale. So I've had blogs and vlogs and online talk shows and online radio shows through Blog Talk Radio and, all these different things. Before YouTube was it, I was on something called Click IPTV and our competitor was YouTube. That's how infancy it was. It was like, are you going to be on Click or are you going to be on YouTube? That's how long time ago it was. But, I've done it all on an independent scale, but I'm ready for it. But God told me, and God has been teaching me about shady deals and, you know, contracts and making sure I don't, in essence, sell my soul. You know, I did that when I was at the wellness center. You know, she had me doing so many things so that I have access to a room so that I could host my event. You know, and nothing against it. It's just when God started like breaking it down for me, God was like, I want you to make two columns: what you're giving and what they're giving, what you're receiving and what they're receiving. And if it's too heavy on either side, it's not a balanced deal. And anything that I'm going to bring to you is going to be a balance, because God is a God. My God. My God is a God of balance. Yes? Okay, hold on. My God is a God of balance. So if anything is out of balance, it's not of God. Here. So in this time, God not only had to prepare me for where I'm headed, but God also had to teach me the business of where I'm headed. Now, all this is in theory, but God also pointed out to me I signed my first bad contract. We never got to the point of signing a contract, but it was the bartering system. But I was definitely giving way more than what I was receiving. And so there's a lot of lessons that I'm being taught in preparation for where I'm headed. I had to go hermit mode, but I'm ready this year. We are ready, 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 ready. I honestly assumed eventually we would do something together. Hey, hop in my DMs, let's go. You don't need me just saying I felt we would collab at some point in the future. Neither of us need each other, and both of us are vehicles for each other. You have to understand there's a vehicle and there's fuel. There's a vehicle that's not moving until the fuel enters the chat. Both are equally important because the fuel is just fuel by itself. The vehicle is stagnant without fuel. So you both need each other to some capacity. But you're going to fuel and vehicle each other until you're done. And Spirit told me, don't sign any deals that are longer than 6 months to a year. Do not give anyone exclusive rights to you for the rest of your life. Just because, not you specifically, but just because a person was a part of your infancy does not mean they have access to you for the rest of your life. Who LeBron James was is not who the high school coach discovered in high school. And I know that's just an example. Matthew Knowles is not Beyonce today. Therefore, Matthew Knowles does get credit for the discovery of Beyonce, but Matthew Knowles does not get to profit. Within honesty, let's be honest. Yes, you don't get to eat off of me, not you specifically. Well, I'm not talking about you anymore. I'm just, what you said brought this up. And this is what God has been teaching me about contracts, because there's people out there who sign these contracts who, yes, I discovered you. I'm your manager now, so I am going to have a percentage of you for the rest of your life because I gave you your start. No, you get a percentage of me as long as we're associated. And when we're no longer associated, go find your next thing. Don't try to eat off of me for the rest of your life, because I'm no longer benefiting from you, so why should you benefit from me? On top of everybody who now has come into the picture who wants to benefit off of me. So now I'm still paying you, plus all the other people who are helping move me to the next space. So you can benefit off of me, off of the time that we're together, and then when we're no longer together, it's been beautiful, it's all love, and just like you had the ability to find me, you'll have the ability to find another. That's what God told me, because people are going to come to me and they're going to be like, yo, I'll help you, but I need to be able to eat off of you for the rest of your life. And I'm like, nah, that's not God. God will never bend me over and have me bleeding, period. So that is what Spirit has just taught me over the past couple of months. Literally, when my husband had that game night, and I sat there and I watched this guy work some of the most, they were playing Monopoly of all games, right? That's my husband's favorite game, apparently. I just learned that, even though he has like 4 Monopoly sets, so maybe that should have been an indicator. But anyway, they're playing Monopoly and just how it all works, the patterns, right? So I disassociated with the wellness center. Spirit said, clean your house top from bottom. Right before I disassociated with the wellness center, somebody came into the wellness center and started cleaning. And she explained to me, I have a live. You can check all my lives out at Lonnie Appleton Live on YouTube. I have a live where she's explaining to me the importance of cleaning and clearing your home. I have a couple of videos where I'm talking about it. Right before I left the wellness center, I had that conversation with her. I left the wellness center. I was like, man, I got to clean all energy out of this house. So I cleaned this house from top to bottom, clearing the energy out and removing anything that may have followed me from the wellness center into my home before I can begin manifestation work. I need all of that energy gone. So I clear my house. Well, at the same time I'm clearing my house, my husband is having a conversation at work where they're talking about, cash money shit about playing Monopoly. Yeah, I'm the best Monopoly player. I'm the best Monopoly player. I got 4 Monopoly boards. Come over my house so we could play Monopoly. Just happens to coincide with my wife cleaning the house. So the house is clean so I can host company. So my husband hosts this Monopoly game that could have happened at any home, but it happened at mine. And at this time, God is teaching me about contracts. And so I'm watching in shady business people and shady business practices. And so I'm sitting there watching them play Monopoly, and I'm watching them, not the game. And I see how shady this man is. And God is like, yes, this is how people are going to approach you. They're going to come, and I'm looking at the word love. They're going to come up to you and they're going to act like it's all love. In reality, they're trying to steal your life. And they will if you let them talk slick. Pay attention. Write the columns. And this is everything. This ain't just business. This is personal relationships. This is friendships. This is every decision you make until you get the spirit of discernment where you can go in your head. I'm there in some places, but in not other places I'm not. And I'm just now waking up to this where I could just be like, yeah, that's not a good deal. And don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. That's why you teach your kids. If somebody's like, no, you don't have to wear a seatbelt. I want to wear my seatbelt. You've been drinking. I don't want to ride with you. Let your children know that it's okay to speak up for themselves. Now I'm looking at my pillow that says, know your worth and add tax. So this is confirmation. Let your children know it's okay to speak up and advocate for themselves so that they're not adults who are entering into relationships, into business deals, into all these different friendships that they know, yeah, this don't feel right, but I don't feel like I can say something. Because every time I've said something in my youth, oh, no, it's okay. I'm dismissed. Stop dismissing your kids, because then they become adults who are taken advantage of because the person who they feel they need something from is going to walk away and leave them, or no, if they came to you because they need you. Anybody that comes to me needs me. I am the fucking vehicle. I just happen to be stuck. I need some goddamn fuel, which means someone can come in and say, yo, I can help you move your vehicle. Cool. Let me do my columns. It's fair and even. Boom, let's go. That's not fair and even. I'm sorry. If you would like to work with me, we got to move some of that stuff over into my column so that we're balanced. I only move in balance. And if we can balance, we can work together. But if you want to fuck somebody, go fuck somebody else, because you're not fucking me. So I say all that to say, based off of what you said, that is the message for you. As you move into your divinity and what's out here for you, watch your 6. Watch your back. Wolves in sheep clothing will come to you. They will try to take advantage of you, especially being a spiritual being. So being a spiritual being, people will come to you under the guise of God. Like, isn't that the best disguise? And you have to be able to use your spirit of discernment. And while you are tweaking your spirit of discernment, because just because our spirit of discernment is sharp in one area because we've been practicing and theorizing and doing the scientific evolutionary work, I don't know what the hell I just said, but you know what I said. We have experience. Now that we're starting to move into contracts, now that we're starting into making deals, now that we're starting to do those things, this is a new space. Yes, our spirit of discernment is here, but we don't have experience in this arena. So just be extra diligent. That is what Spirit is saying for both of us, to be extra diligent, because people are going to be flowing in and out of our lives because we've been doing the work and we're ready. And we just have to make sure that we're not willing to sell our souls. And we have to understand that selling our souls isn't, what we think those people out there are doing. No, selling your soul is at the infancy. Accepting an intimate relationship that you know depletes you. Loving a spouse that don't love you back. You sold your soul simply so you can say you got a spouse. Taking a job simply because, it's an income, but it doesn't give you any other things. You giving all this to the job and all it gives you is an income. You sold your soul. So we have to expand what we see selling our soul so that we can understand that we've been selling our soul. Every time we compromise our ethics, every time we settle for less than we know that we deserve, we are essentially selling our soul. So that when the big leagues come, when the big money comes, because we are doing the work and we are evolving ourselves and healing ourselves, when the big opportunities come, when the real devil shows up, we don't even recognize it. Or we do, but we're so used to compromising our ethics that what's one more? It's going to give me what I want. I'm going to get what I want. So what if I got to compromise all this stuff? So what if it bends me over and I'm bleeding? At least I get the big house on the hill and I get to post on the gram and let people know I'm doing it. So we got to know way now. When we just sitting on this live with 2 people on the live, we got to know now not to compromise so that we don't ever compromise at the top. I feel the same way when I do lives. Oh, I thought he was talking hockey. Oh, hockey puck. It keeps pausing and going out because battery, I think. Hopefully we're all here. Hey, Happy New Year, Ree, if you're still here. I just love how, come on now, don't do me. Don't I love yes, you're a teacher. I am a teacher. I just love how you lead to reflecting, not telling people how to think. Yes, you get me. Yes, let's work together. Hit my DMs because you get me. And if you get me, I'm sure I get you. To me, true guidance goes within and you do that. Amen. Thank you for like my little, like, thank you for blowing my head up. That's what we're supposed to do for each other. Yes, you're a teacher and healer and mother, and even I see Father in you. Oh man, okay. Yeah, I went and got my master's in education because I know that I'm a teacher. But I'm not an ABC 1, 2, 3 teacher. I was laughing because I remember I was the gifted and talented teacher, which means I didn't teach ABC 1, 2, 3. I had to teach these kids how to use their innate abilities in real life. Like, you're really, really mathematically inclined. Okay, let's build some airplanes. You're really, really artistic. Like, okay, let's do some. How can we utilize your artistic ability? How can we utilize whatever your superpower is in practical application? So that's what I did as a gifted and talented teacher. And as a gifted and talented teacher, I remember one of the lessons I taught was about synchronicities. I laugh, and I really didn't even understand synchronicities at the time like I do now. But I remember, and my kids would always come to me and be like, Miss Taylor, I was at the store and then this synchronicity happened. And then one of my students came to me and they're like, something happened, and they're like, their parent was like, isn't that one of those synchronicity things you were talking about? So I remember when I was a teacher, I taught a natural lesson on one of my spiritual principles. That's funny. Truths are fluid, yes, for me. I know you're gonna make it to that level, the one you see and know is coming, because I am that which I will myself to be. That is my mantra for 2024, or until I find a new mantra. I am, and now that I'm here, I could tell you what the book is called. The Kabbalion. The book that taught me I'm a scientist is called The Kabbalion. But I got this mantra out of the Master Key system. I am that which I will myself to be. I am that which I will myself to be. I am that which I will myself to be, which means I am so freaking powerful that I am that which I will myself to be. Do you understand how much energetic power you have? That you can will yourself through anything. You have willed yourself to where you are. So if I am that which I will myself to be, what do I will myself to be? Because I am that. So I know it's going to come to pass. And I know that today is the step for tomorrow, is the step for tomorrow. And I'm being led. Whatever I'm doing today, I'm supposed to be doing because I'm doing what I've been called to do. Yes, you are a dot connector. It's beautiful. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I really want to feed into you, so please. But I'm going to receive that you're feeding into me. I won't feel like I need to feed back into you. I feel like you wouldn't be giving me this if I wasn't feeding you. So I am going to receive that I'm also giving you what you need. But thank you so much because you are truly giving me what I need. Yes, I get what you're saying, and it can change a lot. Hey, hey, more growth. I'm sure you're gone by now, but hey, hey. You know, I'm a talk my ear. More growth botanical. She's behind on comments. Thank you, because I show him. You ever recalled astral projection as a child? You ever recalled astral projecting? I don't think I ever astral projected. But now that you brought that into my field of awareness, I remember sensing energies as a child, you know, sensing energies in my room and them waking me up out of my sleep. That still happens to me today. But I don't remember astral projecting. I don't remember lucid dreaming. I don't remember any of the things. I don't remember any of the things. But now that you bring that up, let's go ahead and, you know, journey down that rabbit hole. Now that the intention is there for me to recall the times that divinity was happening around me, it'll start showing me. I want to say that I either almost died or maybe I did die. I don't remember. But me and my mom were wrestling in a closet when I was a kid. And I never saw my mom. I was raised by my dad until I was raised by the streets. But I was with my mom visiting her, and we were play fighting in the closet, and I pulled her hair. And when I pulled her hair, she became enraged and she set on me. And I was like an 8-year-old child, like, you know, flimsy. And my mom was like a very healthy woman. And so she set on me and I couldn't breathe. And so I was pinned against the ground underneath her because I pulled her hair. And, you know, it was such a volatile situation that everybody else in the house came and they were all standing outside of the closet. I can actually see this in my mind's eye. They were all standing outside the closet and they were like, get off of her. She can't breathe. And I literally couldn't breathe. And the only reason why I'm still here, and this, let me finish this story. The only reason why I'm still here is because some woman took like 2 steps towards me and my mom went on the defense and went to attack her. And in her attacking her, got my mom up off of me. So that woman saved my life. But the reason why I tell that story is because one of the brothers that I met at the wellness center, he told me the space that I live in consciously and the abilities that I have are abilities as someone who has had a near death experience or has died and jumped consciousness. It's real. You can. Those are that's what I manifest. I manifest the abilities of someone who either almost died or has died. And so when he said that to me, I was just like, well, because I'm just now coming into my knowing, like I've known my entire life why I came to this earth. I knew I came here to do the work that I'm doing right now. But of course, all of this technology had to be invented in order for me to do it. But I've known, but since I'm just now coming into the work, like I'm just now knowing I'm a healer. Like I've known I came to this earth to save the world. I'm here to save the world. I remember saying that to Ree, and I was like, I know that sounds crazy. I'll never say that out loud, and now I just freely say it. And I'm here to heal humanity. I'm one of the people called, you know. But what's funny is I've known, but I didn't know I was a healer. Like what, like that I can actually heal. Like I didn't know that I could do that. Like this is magical, right? And so I'm just now coming into that knowing. So when I was talking to this gentleman and he was just like near death experiences, I'm thinking recent times. Did something happen in the last year where I could have? But then Spirit told me, no, go all the way back to when your mom set on you. You almost died because you couldn't breathe. That might have been the where my consciousness did whatever it is that it's supposed to do in order for me to do the work that I'm doing now. Where my mom almost killed me. I think. But I don't recall astral projecting. Did you fly when you were little in your projections? I've never flown. I want to fly out, and I ran to my grandma's house. Man, like, so I lucid dream, but I just be having conversations and stuff and weird stuff. Like, I don't think I've astral projected yet. I've been trying, though. I've been trying. Y'all tell me how y'all be astral projecting. Tag me on your video. That stuff is so real. Tell me how. Tell me how, y'all. My dad flew, though. He told me about it. Yo, and your daddy's into it. Ain't that dope to have generations into this stuff? Like woo-woo in the family? Yo, Spirit told me that I need to teach my children magic. I need to teach my children magic, which means I must learn magic. So that they teach their children who teach their children who teach their children. So when I reincarnate to a family from birth that teaches me who I am. Do you understand that all of our stuff was lost from generations? We stopped telling stories. I have a book that's called Finding the Root or something about the root, and it's talking about 400 years of root work, but it's talking about how the people that they're talking to, and they're like in their 80s and stuff, the people that they're talking to are the last root workers of their family lineage. They're the last people who's holding on to their family's magic and their ability. And in the past, it was passed down from generation to generation to generation. Then they introduced a certain religion to us. So now we don't do the magic because that's not of God, even though God gave us the magical abilities. It says in the first verse or so of the Bible, God was hovering over the earth. God is magic. We are magic. And so they have tricked us under the guise of religion to separate us from our divinity and our magic. Therefore, we are not teaching it from generation to generation. Now I have to wait till I'm 40 something years old to know that I'm magical. But if I teach my children their magic, which means I have to learn my magic, but if I teach my children their magic, then they teach their children, because I also have to teach my children the importance of teaching the next generation, because that has been lost somewhere. We don't teach the next generation nothing. We as adults separate ourselves from our children. This is adult stuff. You do kid stuff. That's why God told me you need to start manifesting with your children. That's why when I posted that New Year's video, you see me and my kids in here writing. It's because I'm having them and I'm teaching them how to do their, sacred manifestations, full moon, new moon, specific dates, energy. You can manifest whenever you want to, but you can capitalize on that energy of said specific dates and times of the year, because everybody's manifesting during that time. So you're not only tapping into your own individual manifestation, and if you're bringing your kids into your manifesting, now you're tapping into their energetic field, and now you guys are all, even though you're doing your individual manifestations, like in order for my daughter to be a famous YouTube influencer, I have to be able to do what I need to do in order to put her in that position. In order for my son to be a YouTube gamer that he aspires to be, I have to be able to put him into that position. In order for this kid to get his Kindle, which is what he's trying to manifest, I have to be in a position in order to make that happen. Which means in order for my children's manifestations to come to pass, my manifestations must have to come to pass. Therefore, if we manifest collectively, now we are all in the energetic field. That's not the word that I want to use. Energetic field is what I want to, anyway. Frequency, that's not the word that I want to use. We're all in the same energy. And because we are all in the same energy, we are now amplifying our manifestation ability, and we're all focusing on, yes, our own individualist things, but we also know in order for me to get my individual desires, I must also manifest collectively. So Spirit told me, teach your children your practices so they could develop their own practices. I do not teach my children so they can think and be like me. I teach my children to think so that they can be themselves. And this is what's possible. And now that you know that's what's possible, you can take it and run with it. And now that you're running with it, you can teach your children, who can teach their children, who can teach their children. And now I can manifest into this stuff, and I could come in this game running next time. I'm super excited. Oh man, that is dope that your daddy flew. Probably so. You know so much more than we realize we know for now. Amen. I'm so excited to come into my knowing, because there's so much out there. There is so much out there. Life is so freaking beautiful. And what's beautiful about that is there was a time that I hated myself and I hated life. So for me to sit here and say that life is so beautiful and I feel blessed to be here means that I have healed myself. And if you need help, pick up my book, What's the Best That Can Happen, available on Amazon, link in bio, or just make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor on Amazon. I have to go for now. This has been a beautiful connection and chat. You're truly a gem. Thank you so much, friend. Make sure you get into my DMs. I know we will connect again. I believe that we will. I'll message you if you haven't message me. Hey, Sister Sunshine. There's no sunshine in Arizona today, friend. All right, y'all. I think I have reached the bottom of all of my comments. So with that said, this was supposed to be an hour live. I'm here 3 hours later. Such a blessing, and I'm so happy that I violated my rule to keep my Bible studies only an hour long. Today was such a blessing, and you guys bless my spirit, you bless my heart, you bless my mind, you bless my life, and I thank you for communing with me today. You guys have a wonderful day.